The auditorium buzzed with anticipation, the kind that hangs thick in the air like summer humidity. Rows of black gowns rustled as graduates shifted in their seats. Caps perched at Johnny angles, tassels swaying like pendulums counting down to freedom. I smoothed the fabric of my robe, feeling the weight of 4 grueling years pressing against my chest, late-night cram sessions, part-time jobs that left my hands calloused, and that gnawing doubt that whispered I wasn't good enough. But today, I was. Emily Carter, summa cum laude, ready to stride across that stage and claim what I'd earned. The dean droned through names, each one met with cheers that echoed off the vaulted ceiling. I scanned the crowd, spotting my mom, Sarah, in the 3rd row, her smile tight, almost painted on. Next to her sat my stepdad, Tom, arms folded like a fortress, his jaw set in that familiar line of disapproval. He'd always been like that, distant, grumbling about bills and how I was just another mouth to feed. But today was mine. Nothing could ruin it. Or so I thought. The announcer's voice boomed. Emily Carter. My heart leaped as I rose, legs steady despite the adrenaline rush. Applause swelled. Cameras flashed like distant lightning. I took my first step onto the polished wood, diploma folder gleaming under the spotlights. Then, like a crack of thunder, Tom's voice shattered everything. She's not my blood. It cut through the noise, raw and venomous, amplified by the sheer shock of it. The applause faltered, dying into a stunned hush. Whispers rippled outward, chairs creaking as heads turned. I froze mid-stride, heat flooding my face, a prickling sensation like 1,000 needles under my skin. The dean's hand extended the folder, his eyes wide with awkward sympathy, but I could barely grasp it. My fingers trembled, the paper slipping slightly. Not my blood. The words looped in my head, each repetition a fresh wound. I forced a smile, brittle and false, and kept walking, but inside, something cracked. The crowd's murmurs grew, a low hum that buzzed in my ears. Did he really say that? Poor girl. On her big day. Some chuckled nervously, the sound grating like nails on chalkboard. I descended the steps, diploma clutched like a lifeline, and sought out my mom. Surely she'd stand up, yell back, defend me. But there she was, hand on Tom's arm, whispering urgently, not now. Tom. Everyone staring. Her eyes flicked to the neighbors, the aunts and uncles dotted in the seats, as if their opinions were the real casualties here. She didn't meet my gaze, didn't rise, just sat there, prioritizing peace over my pride. That silence hit harder than his shout. It was complicity wrapped in concern. I sank back into my seat, the ceremony plodding on as if my world hadn't imploded. Names called, cheers erupted, but it all blurred into white noise. My phone vibrated in my pocket, texts from friends. You okay? That was insane. I ignored them, staring at the floor, willing the tears not to fall. Family was supposed to be your rock, not the avalanche that buried you. As the last graduate crossed the stage, the band struck up a triumphant march. Families surged forward for photos, laughter filling the space. I lingered, hoping to slip out unnoticed, but eyes followed me, pitying, curious, judgmental. That's her, someone muttered. My best friend, Lisa, found me in the chaos, wrapping an arm around my shoulders. Don't let that define you, she whispered. But it already had. Outside, the spring sun mocked me with its brightness. I hurried to my car, diploma under my arm, the weight of humiliation pressing down. By the time I reached my apartment in downtown Chicago, my phone was exploding. Notifications piled up. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Someone had filmed it, the grainy video already viral. Tom's face twisted in rage. My shocked expression frozen forever. Comments flooded in. Brutal, family drama. She looks devastated. Bet there's more to this story. I scrolled. Masochistically. Each one, a twist of a knife. Humiliation wasn't just personal anymore, it was public property. Dissected by strangers over coffee. I collapsed onto the couch. The room spinning. Memories flooded back. Unbidden. I was 8 again. At a school father-daughter dance. Tom had grumbled about going, but Mom insisted. We arrived. Me in my frilly dress. Excited. But he spent the night at the punch bowl. Complaining to other dads. Not my kid. You know? Just along for the ride. Kids overheard. Teased me the next day. Stepdad doesn't count. Huh. I'd laughed it off then. But the ache lingered. Now. At 22. It all connected. His constant barbs about real family. Mom's deflections to keep the peace. She'd married him for stability after Dad died. But stability came at a cost. My sense of belonging. I stared at the ceiling. Anger simmering beneath the hurt. Living well is the best revenge. Lisa had texted. Maybe she was right. But first, I needed to breathe. The evening deepened. Shadows lengthening across the walls. My phone buzzed again, a like on the viral post from Mom's account. My heart plummeted. Not an accident. A choice. Betrayal burned fresh. Hotter than the public scorn. If she couldn't stand for me, who would? That night, sleep evaded me. I paced the apartment, the city lights twinkling outside like indifferent stars. Tom's words weren't just an outburst. They were the culmination of years of erosion. He'd controlled the finances. Doled out allowances with strings attached, always reminding me I was an outsider. Mom enabled it. Her love conditional on harmony. But harmony for whom? I pulled out old boxes from the closet, bank statements, scholarship letters. Something nagged at me. My college fund from Grandma's estate. Why had it dried up so suddenly? I dug deeper. Finding emails I'd forgotten. Transfers Tom had authorized. For family expenses. Suspicion coiled in my gut. This wasn't just emotional neglect. It smelled like fraud. By dawn, resolve hardened. I wouldn't fade into silence. I'd uncover the truth. No matter the cost. Lisa arrived that morning. Coffee in hand. We're fighting this, she said. We pored over documents. Piecing together a puzzle of deceit. Tom's provision was a facade. He'd siphoned funds meant for me. Rerouted scholarships to his accounts. Grandma's will specified me as heir. But he'd contested it quietly, claiming guardianship rights. Mom knew. Her signatures dotted the pages. The realization hit like a wave. Their family excluded me deliberately. Anger fueled me. But so did a quiet strength. I contacted a lawyer, a no-nonsense woman named M.S. Hale, who reviewed the files with sharp eyes. This is embezzlement, she said. We can sue. Fear flickered, suing family? But they weren't family, they were thieves in disguise. As word spread, the viral video gained traction, morphing into memes. Think pieces on toxic step-parents. Support poured in from strangers. Stand up, girl. But so did hate. Ungrateful brat. I blocked what I could, focusing on the case. Tom called once. Voice gruff. Drop this nonsense. Emily. You're tearing us apart. I hung up. Heart pounding. Tearing them apart? He'd shattered me first. Mom texted, please. Think of the family. But whose family? The one that erased me? Weeks blurred into depositions. Evidence mounting. The media caught wind. Local news ran segments. Graduation humiliation leads to fraud allegations. Tom's business suffered. Clients whispered about his integrity. He lashed out in interviews. She's exaggerating for attention. But the paper trail didn't lie. One evening, alone in my apartment, I found an old letter from Grandma, tucked in a photo album. Blood doesn't define worth. Emily, your heart does. Tears came then, cleansing. She'd seen me, truly. That fueled my fire. The pre-trial meeting loomed, a chance for settlement. I walked unsteady, Lisa by my side. Tom and Mom sat across. Tension thick. Yes. Hale laid out the evidence, forged signatures, diverted funds totaling over $50,000. Tom's face paled. This is a misunderstanding, he blustered. Mom whispered. Emily, please. We can fix this privately. But privacy had been their weapon. No, I said. Truth isn't private. The meeting ended in stalemate. As I left, Mom grabbed my arm. You're destroying us. I pulled away gently. You destroyed trust first. Outside, rain slicked the streets, mirroring my resolve. This wasn't revenge, it was reclamation. The trial date set. I prepared, knowing the courtroom would be my stage, not for humiliation, but for justice. The days leading to the trial felt like a slow march toward a cliff's edge, each step heavier with the weight of what might fall away. Chicago's skyline loomed outside my window, indifferent to my turmoil. As I reviewed statements late into the night, Lisa crashed on my couch more often than not, her presence a buffer against the isolation that threatened to swallow me. You've got this, she'd say. But doubt crept in during the quiet hours. What if the judge sided with them? What if exposing the fraud exposed me further, made me the villain in their narrative? Tom's public rants on social media didn't help. Posts about ungrateful stepkids, racking up likes from his echo chamber. Mom's silence online spoke volumes. Her occasional texts a mix of pleas and guilt-tripping. I did what I thought was best for all of us. Best for them. Maybe. But I'd spent years shrinking to fit their best, and I was done. The morning of the hearing, I dressed carefully, a crisp blouse, slacks that said professional, not petty. Yes. Hale met me at the courthouse steps. Her briefcase, a symbol of armor. Remember? Facts don't care about feelings, she advised. Inside, the room was sterile. Wood-paneled walls absorbing sound like secrets. Spectators filled the benches, reporters. Curious locals drawn by the viral buzz. Tom entered first. Suit ill-fitting. Face etched with resentment. Mom trailed. Eyes downcast. Clutching her purse like a shield. Our gazes met briefly. Hers flickered with something like regret. But it vanished quick as a shadow. The judge, a stern woman with wire-rimmed glasses, called order. Opening statements flew. MS. Hale outlined the embezzlement, the will tampering, the emotional abuse culminating in the graduation outburst. Tom's lawyer countered with tales of generosity, painting me as a rebellious ingrate. Then testimonies began. Tom took the stand first, voice steady at the start. I raised her like my own, he claimed. Paid for everything. But under cross-examination, cracks appeared. Yes. Hale presented emails, one directing funds from my scholarship to his business account. Signed for family needs. Whose family? She pressed. He stammered. Ours. Mine. The courtroom murmured. I watched Mom shift uncomfortably, her loyalty fracturing in real time. When it was her turn, she spoke softly, tears glistening. I wanted harmony, she said. Tom provided stability after my husband died. But MS. Hale didn't let sentiment slide. Did you know about the transfers? Mom hesitated, then nodded. I signed off. To keep peace. Gasps rippled. peace at my expense. My turn came. I stood, knees steady, and recounted the years, the snide remarks, the withheld support, the public shaming. Blood isn't what he denied me, I said. It was dignity. The judge's eyes softened slightly. Evidence sealed it. Bank records. Grandma's original will naming me heir, unequivocally. The recess felt eternal. In the hallway, Lisa hugged me. You're owning this. But Tom cornered me near the vending machines, voice low and threatening. Drop it now, or you'll regret it. Fear flickered, but anger overrode. Regret silence? Never again. Back in session. Closing arguments hammered home. The judge deliberated briefly, then ruled. Restitution ordered. $60,000 plus interest. Inheritance rights restored. Tom's face crumpled. A mix of rage and defeat. Mom wept quietly. As bailiffs let him out, he'd yelled obscenities. The weight lifted from my chest. Victory tasted bittersweet. I'd won justice, but lost any illusion of family. Outside, reporters swarmed. How do you feel? I paused. Free. Lisa and I walked away. The city buzzing around us. That night, we celebrated quietly, pizza, wine, reflections. Family's what you build, she said. I nodded, thinking of Grandma's letter, now framed on my wall. Her words had been my guiding light. But closure didn't come easy. Weeks later, as funds transferred and headlines faded, a certified letter arrived. From Grandma's estate lawyer. Dated years prior but timed for release when she needs it most. Inside, her handwriting. Emily, if shadows fall, remember, worth isn't inherited, it's claimed. I saw your strength early. Don't let them dim it. The trust one set aside is yours, not for wealth, but wings. Fly high. Tears blurred the ink. But joy warmed me. She'd anticipated this. Protected me from beyond. The trust? Another $100,000. Untouched by Tom's schemes. I invested wisely, grad school tuition. A fund for abused stepkids. Life rebuilt. I pursued my master's in social work, channeling pain into purpose. Tom faced probation for fraud. His business tanked. Mom reached out sporadically. Apologies laced with excuses. I responded kindly but distantly. Boundaries were my new foundation. One crisp fall day, I spoke at a conference on family dynamics, sharing my story anonymized. Attendees nodded, some tearful. Silence enables, I said. Speaking heals. Applause swelled. Genuine this time. Afterward, a young woman approached. Your story saved me from staying quiet. Purpose bloomed. Holidays came without invites from them. I hosted my own with Lisa and new friends, chosen family. Laughter filled my apartment, not tension. Tom's viral moment? It became a cautionary tale. Memes evolving into empowerment posts. I didn't scroll much anymore. Forward was my direction. Yet, echoes lingered. A random coffee shop run-in with Mom. She looked frail. Regret etched deep. Can we try again? She asked. I considered. Heart softening. Maybe. If truth leads. We parted on that note, hopeful. Cautious. Healing wasn't linear, but possible. As winter set in, I reflected on the journey. From that shattered graduation to courtroom triumph, I'd transformed betrayal into backbone. Grandma's wisdom echoed. Family isn't blood. It's bonds forged in fire.
Idea marcia strunge.
Scars and all. The city lights twinkled outside, promising new chapters. I was ready. Spring thawed into summer. The kind where Chicago's humidity clings like unspoken regrets. My new routine grounded me. Classes on family therapy, volunteer shifts at a youth center, Evenings journaling the chaos into coherence. Lisa moved in temporarily. Her optimism a counter to my lingering shadows. "You're not just surviving," she'd say. "You're thriving." But thriving didn't erase the what-ifs. What if Mom had spoken up that day? What if Tom had seen me as more than a burden? Therapy helped unpack it, sessions where I voiced the hurt, reframing it as their failing, not mine. Betrayal trauma, my counselor called it. Naming it loosened its grip. One humid afternoon. An unexpected call. MS.
Hail.
Emily. There's movement. Tom wants to settle remaining disputes out of court. Curiosity piqued. I agreed to meet. The neutral office felt like a truce zone. Beige walls. Generic art. Tom arrived disheveled. Stubble shadowing his jaw. Eyes hollow. Mom beside him. Wringing hands. No bluster this time. Defeat hung on him like ill-fitted clothes. "I'm sorry," he muttered. Voice cracking. "For the money. The words. Everything." Mom nodded. "We both are." Skepticism warred with hope. "Why now?" I asked. Tom sighed. "Lost my job." Friends turned. Realized I pushed away what mattered. Mom added. I enabled it. Feared losing stability. Tears tracked her cheeks. Part of me wanted to forgive. To mend. But wounds don't heal on demand. "Apologies aren't erasers," I said. "They start conversations." We talked. Raw.
Halting.
Tom admitted jealousy of my bond with Grandma. How it highlighted his insecurities. Mom confessed prioritizing marriage over motherhood. It wasn't absolution, but understanding dawned. We parted with tentative plans, family counseling. I left lighter. Not naive, but open. Progress crept in sessions. Tom's defensiveness softened. Mom's guilt surfaced. "I chose wrong," she admitted once. Voice trembling. Breakthroughs came slow, like thawing ice. Meanwhile, my advocacy grew. I started a blog, Not by Blood, sharing stories of blended family struggles. Followers multiplied. Messages pouring in. Your courage inspired me to speak up. A podcast invite followed, recounting the graduation, the fraud, the redemption. Listeners resonated. Feels like my story. Empowerment rippled outward. Summer peaked with a scholarship award ceremony. I as keynote. Standing on stage again. No dread this time. "Family isn't given," I said. "It's chosen." Earned. Applause roared. Healing the old echo. But shadows resurfaced. Tom's health scare, a mild heart attack, jolted us. Hospital visits forced proximity. "Didn't expect you'd come," he rasped from the bed. "Why wouldn't I?" I replied. Humanity bridged gaps. Recovery brought humility. He volunteered at my youth center, mentoring kids from fractured homes. Mom and I rebuilt slowly coffee dates, honest talks. "I failed you," she said one day. "Forgive me." Tears mingled with mine. Working on it. Fall brought closure. Full restitution paid. Inheritance secured. I used part to fund a nonprofit for step-family support. Launch event buzzed with hope. Speakers. Survivors sharing. Tom attended. Quiet pride in his eyes. "Proud of you," he whispered. First time those words from him. Winter holidays tested us. First joint dinner. Tension simmered. But laughter broke through. Stories of Grandma. Light-hearted jabs. Not perfect, but progress. My story evolved from pain to purpose. A testament that broken bonds can mend, if willed. Yet, I held boundaries firm, self-worth first. As snow blanketed the city, I reflected, from humiliation to harmony. The path was mine. New Year's resolutions felt redundant. My life was already a reinvention. Chicago's winds whipped fierce. mirroring my inner resolve. Grad school intensified, papers on psychological impacts of family rejection, internships counseling blended families. Lisa and I upgraded to a bigger apartment, symbolizing growth. From ashes, she toasted. But growth unearthed buried pain. Nightmares revisited the graduation. Tom's shout. Mom's silence. Amplified. Therapy delved deeper. Abandonment issues, but labeling empowered. I confronted Mom in session. Your choice hurt deepest. She broke down. Feared losing everything. Understanding fostered empathy. Not excuses. Spring bloomed with opportunities. A book deal offer. Not My Blood. A memoir of betrayal and belonging. Writing cathartic. Chapters pouring out like confessions. Publishers praised the raw emotion. Tom read drafts. Feedback surprisingly insightful. I see my mistakes clearer. Redemption arcs woven. Launch party buzzed, friends, supporters, even hesitant family. Mom hugged me. Your strength amazes. Tom nodded agreement. Media interviews followed. How did you forgive? Forgiveness is ongoing, I replied. It's for me, not them. Impact grew. Workshops nationwide, helping others navigate similar storms. Summer brought a curveball. Tom's business revival pitch included me as partner. Make it a family thing, he said. Tempting, but caution prevailed. Trust rebuilds slow, I countered. We compromised on consulting role. Collaboration tested us. Arguments flared, but resolutions strengthened ties. Mom joined, her organizational skills shining. Team Cartercross, Lisa joked. Bonds solidified through effort. Fall's colors mirrored change. I graduated masters. Cap and gown sans drama. Family cheered genuinely, Tom's applause loudest. My daughter, he called me privately. Tears pricked. Not blood, but chosen. Holidays warmed. Traditions blended. Laughter authentic. My nonprofit thrived. Grants funding expansions. A mentee success story echoed mine. You showed me family is action. Purpose fulfilled. As winter neared, I pondered the journey. From shattered to whole. Conflict birthed connection. Questions lingered. What makes family?
Love.
Effort. Truth. My story, once a wound, became a beacon. In the midst of this, personal life bloomed too. Dates with a kind colleague turned serious, Alex, who understood my scars. Your past doesn't define you, he said. Support like that healed. Family met him warily, but warmth grew. He treats you right, Tom grudgingly approved. Milestones stacked. Book bestseller status. TEDx invite. On stage. I shared. Mal Thuan teaches us who we are. Standing ovation. Back home. Mom cooked my favorite, peace offering. Proud mom, she whispered. Tom echoed. Healing's mosaic pieced together. The cycle completed as another graduation season approached, not mine, but a mentee's from the nonprofit. I attended, cheering as she crossed the stage. Her family whole in ways mine once wasn't. Reflection hit, my path from victim to victor. Chicago's rhythm pulsed on, but I moved with confidence. Book tour took me cross-country. Stories resonating universally. Your vulnerability inspires, fans said. Homecomings with family grew natural, no eggshells. Tom's health improved. He mentored actively. Mom volunteered. Finding purpose. We lost time, she lamented. But gained wisdom, I replied. Challenges persisted. Media dredged old video occasionally. But I reframed lessons in resilience. Alex proposed under city lights, yes, with family's blessing. Wedding small, meaningful, vows echoing themes of chosen bonds. Honeymoon reflections, life's twists led here. Nonprofit expanded internationally. Impact global. Years later, as a mother myself, I taught my child, family is heart, not heritage.
Tom.
Grandpa now, softened fully.
Mom.
Grandma, doted. Full circle. The story ends not with closure, but continuance. What defines us, blood or bravery? In Mouth Wan's wake, we choose. But does forgiveness absolve all? Or leave ethical echoes? The heart knows, but society ponders.